Hi there, everybody. My name is David Chafe from St. John's.
And I'm Matthew Cooper from Carbonear.
And we are here to introduce you to our brand new album called Gently Wake, which is a classical album, obviously for piano and voice. And it's due for release later this summer of 2021. And we are thrilled to be here as part of the Soundbone concert series. And we're so grateful to Eric West and Ian Foster for inviting us into your homes. We're here to hopefully broaden your horizons about music making in Newfoundland and Labrador. The album, even if you're not a classical musician or familiar with classical music, you certainly will be familiar with many of the composers that whose music we've chosen to be on the album, including the likes of Schumann and Schubert and Beethoven and Benjamin Britten and more. And the very first piece, which is the only French piece on the album, by a very famous Romantic era composer from France named Gabriel Fauré, and this is his piece called Lydia.
Lydia, sur tes roses joues, et sur ton coffre si blanc, roule étincelant, l'eau fluide que tout dénoue, le jour qui luit est le meilleur, oublions l'éternel tombe, laisse tes baisers de colombe, chanter sur ta lèvre en fleur, sur ta lèvre en fleur. En lys cachère, bon sans cesse, une odeur divine en dansant, les délices comme naissant, sautant de toi, jeune déesse. Je vous aimerai, mes amours, mon âme, mon baiser, mes ravis. Oh Lydia, rends-moi la vie, que je puisse mourir toujours.
The prettiest song, I think, from our album, in my personal opinion anyway. I think you would agree as well.
Yes.
As I said, that was the lone French piece that is on our new album called Gently Wake. I think I'm going to say the phrase Gently Wake about 16,000 times in this video, so people will actually go out and remember it and acquire it. Matthew has a very broad taste in classical music, and the next piece we're going to perform for you is by another well-known composer, obviously, Schubert. And Matthew, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the title of this piece because you're the one who sings and speaks German so confidently. Slowly and confidently pronounce the title of our next piece for us.
This next piece is Am Feierabend.
And what in the heck does that even mean?
That means after work. So basically this song is about a miller worker and he's singing about his after-work hours and how much he loves the miller's daughter, actually. And she don't love him back. She just likes to play around with all the boys that are working for her dad and mess with their heads. So it's kind of fun, but not fun for the miller workers.
How can you not buy this album? Something for everybody. So this is under the theme of, and now for something completely different, on Feierabend.
Tausend Arme zu rühren, könnt ich brausen die Erde führen, könnt ich wehen durch alle Haine, könnt ich drehen alle Steine, dass die schöne Müllerin merkte meinen treuen Sinn, dass die schöne Müllerin merkte meinen treuen Sinn. Ach, wie ist mein Arm so schwach, was ich hebe, was ich trage, was ich schneide, was ich schlage, jede Knappe tut mir's nach, jede Knappe tut mir's nach. Und da sitz ich in der großen Runde, der stillen, kühlen Freistunde. Und der Meister spricht zu allen, euer Werk hat mir gefallen, euer Werk hat mir gefallen. Und das liebe Mädchen sagt allen eine gute Nacht, allen eine gute Nacht. Hätt ich 1000 Arme zu rühren, könnt ich draußen die Erde führen, könnt ich wehen durch alle Haine, könnt ich drehen alle Steine, dass die schöne Müllerin merkte meinen treuen Sinn, dass die schöne Müllerin merkte meinen treuen Sinn, dass die schöne Müllerin meinen treuen Sinn.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I love that song.
It stresses me out, just so everybody knows. I'm doing most of the talking because I'm actually more comfortable talking than performing. And Matthew is way more comfortable performing, as you can probably tell, than talking. So forgive me for dominating the conversation, but that was a pre-recording decision that we made. So I've been talking about the album title called Gently Wake, and you might be wondering how we came up with that particular title. And it was it actually is a phrase borrowed from one of the pieces of a longer set of songs called a song cycle by a British composer named Benjamin Britten. And the cycle is called On This Island, and the cycle is based on poetry by Benjamin Britten's friend W.H. or Wystan Hugh Auden, who was an Anglo-American poet, and they were friends, colleagues, and peers back around the early 20th century. And so Gently Wake is a phrase that's kind of an Easter egg, we'll call it. It's buried in the text of one of the poems of the On This Island cycle. And interesting to know things we discover as musicians, you know, when we record and prepare to record. I thought a lot about what, well, first of all, Matthew, you introduced me to this music. I didn't know the cycle in the first place, and I was really, really attracted to it when I started playing it, when I started hearing you singing it, and we started listening to some other professional recordings in our preparation. And I thought, what is it that's so appealing about this cycle? And some really interesting things came to light. So number one, Benjamin Britten composed this in 1937, which is when my mom was born. So there's kind of a personal connection there. He composed it when he was 24 years old, and you're just shy of your 24th birthday. So I think that's really cool too, which kind of speaks to why it speaks to you, right?
Kind of blows my mind at the same time, because I'm like, he wrote this amazing song cycle, and I'm not a composer by any means, but it's insane to me how someone my age was able to come up with this brilliant piece of work. It's amazing.
Yeah, and don't sell yourself short. I mean, you're somewhat brilliant yourself as a musician, but everybody has their strengths, right? And Britten's was in composition, and and I'm also attracted by the title itself, which is On This Island, the title of the song cycle, and he actually in turn borrowed that title from a book of poetry of Audin's called On This Island. And it's actually a book of 31 poems. I didn't tell you that beforehand. And so Britten selected 5 of his favorite texts from those 31. And just as a nod to his friend Audin, composed this song cycle based on those. And normally when somebody, particularly in the classical world, when somebody composes a longer set or series of pieces, movements or pieces within a cycle, there's usually some thematic connection, like in composition, there might be some key change that's relative, or even within the text, there might be some relationship. And in fact, there is no connection between the 5 songs that stand as the centerpiece of our album, which I think is really interesting too, because just like the music has spoken to me because of different reasons, and the music speaks to you because of different reasons. I'm sure in his, wouldn't you love to go back in time and talk to Benjamin Britten and find out what it was about these particular 5 songs that really spoke to him in that moment. And back to the title, Gently Awake one last time. I think that even though it was accidental, it was somewhat timely because we are releasing this album right on the outer edges of the health and social restrictions that have kind of kept us from performing. And so Matthew and I have safely produced this album with thanks to our friend Ian Foster. It's the title is kind of foretelling how I want everybody, particularly in the arts industry, to feel post-pandemic. Let's just kind of
get back into it.
Let's get back into it. Yeah, let's ease back into it. Audiences are waiting for us, and we're just really excited about it. So, and with that, the song that we're about to perform for you is the first of the 5 songs of the song cycle On This Island, and the song is appropriately titled Let the Florid Music Praise. And by the way, we are here in beautiful Wesley United Church near downtown St. John's on the corner of Patrick Street and Hamilton Avenue, right on the spot where we recorded the album. So this is a great pleasure. So this is Benjamin Britten's Let the Florid Music Praise, based on the text by W.H. Audin.
Let the florid music praise the flute and the trumpet, beauty's conquest of your face, in that land of flesh and bone, where from citadels on high our imperial beauty shone. Let the hot sun shine but the unloved Esse Krieg